I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this below before.
Because I'm moving stuff around.
Okay, we're moving around. We're changing up the set.
Yay!
Hey, Robin.
Jack.
We are.
Inwits.
I
never thought about it. That's right. This is the set. I never thought about that. I've got to be careful from now on. I keep thinking of my living room. You know?
No, it's the set.
Okay.
Cool. Well, your boy's gone.
Well, yeah, but I think it's his own fault.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, what I mean is that I think he's really handled the post-Kelly situation incredibly badly, but that's a different story.
You say that, but that's how he's handled every situation.
No, not really.
Dictatorship. He did that with Devons. He's done it his whole way through.
Look, there's two different Wardogs, but we'll get to that. Or do you want to talk about
that? No. Well, you start where you want to start.
Look, I think straight after the tribal, I think Lauren displayed great attitude. Lauren was like, I've just lost Kelly and I'm feeling bad.
Yeah.
Because she didn't sit there and mope about it.
No. In
a one-to-one camera, she was like, well, now I'm just going to have to figure out how to get forward and how to develop my game.
And this is something that I've always kind of enjoyed Lauren.
Yeah.
Like, I have never not enjoyed Lauren. I've enjoyed that. It's just like, she's been in the powerful position the whole time, so you haven't seen. Where you have someone like Ron, who was once in the powerful position,
exactly. Then on the bottom.
Then he was on the bottom, and he was a mess on the bottom.
Absolutely.
And now he's put himself back in the top position, and all of a sudden that confidence is back. Like, this is where I need to be. Well, that doesn't define a good player. A good player does define, it's like when you are on top and how you handle that
drop.
How you handle the bottom. And I think Lauren handled her position, and she wanted to get rid of Wardog. However, she said through the whole episode, maybe it's not right to get rid of Wardog. Great that they did.
And look, she even saw her talking to Gavin and saying, well, maybe Wardog would be better than Rick, right?
Yeah.
And Gavin was like, no, it's got to be Rick. And Lauren was like, okay, right?
Yeah, she was okay.
She definitely wanted vengeance, but she's kind of subscribed to what we always say, which is, vengeance is fine, but get it when you can afford it.
Yeah. Yes. And I think, funnily enough, she came to her senses because, as we saw, it wasn't her ideal plan through this whole thing to get rid of Wardog. However, you get the cutaway from Kelly saying they got revenge for me.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Well, it's not.
I mean,
if it came from Lauren,
yes,
but Lauren gets to feel that.
I also think, look, strangely enough, and this goes back to 2 episodes ago when Gavin said I don't want to get rid of Kelly because I've grown close to her. Like we've never seen anything on camera between Gavin and Kelly, right? And even Gavin in this episode was like, I'd like to get rid of Wardog because of Kelly, and I'm like, where's this relationship?
We didn't get to see that, which I would have loved to have seen.
Exactly,
would have loved to have seen that.
Exactly, right? But look, I do like that. Lauren's attitude is fantastic. That's the attitude you've got to have. It's also, like you said, the mark of a good player.
Yeah, is what happens when it doesn't go your way.
Exactly. Like we saw Julie when she got dumped from the top, right? Yeah. She just fell completely to pieces. Yeah. Like, I'm on the outer.
Julie and Ron both did that.
Right.
They both fell to pieces.
Yeah, but Julie did it more.
Oh yeah, Julie did it more public.
Cry. Nobody's here to support me.
And she did it in tribal as well.
Yeah. Right. But I'd like to talk this. Now we can talk about Wardog a bit, because we see Wardog talk to Gavin after the tribal, right? And I thought it was incredibly badly handled. It was just very bad handling. It's
standard Wardog for my.
No, I don't think it is.
And it was just more extreme when he said, "You know what? I'm really hurt of how you're reacting." I'm like, "What are you doing, Wardog? Right? Like you already pushed too hard, and he has been pushing too hard the whole time. And we've said ages ago that people should have got rid of Wardog a long time ago because of how he handles situations.
But he basically, Gavin was basically kind of asked the question. He's basically, just for his language, gone, off Gavin, hasn't he? He just pushed him away and go, off, And I just couldn't believe how bad it was. But I think there's 2 Wardogs here, right? And we've seen it before with Gavin, with Kelly and Lauren back before Lesu merged, right? Yeah. Remember when he was dictating who's going to go, right? Yeah.
But he's always dictated.
But this is the thing. I think Wardog's well aware of his, let's say his failings socially.
Okay.
I think he knows that he can be overbearing, right? Because remember, think about this. Every time
there's only like one vote that he wanted it to be Aurora, and they switched to someone else.
Yeah, but think back to when he went onto the beach and spoke to Julia and spoke to... There was none of this overbearing stuff. He was really relaxed. He was just like, oh, you can be a threat, blah, blah, blah. Look, there's bigger threats. And he got that split to happen, right?
Yes.
But he's got... What I mean is there's two Wardogs. There's the Wardog that talks to you when he's trying to get something, but he knows he can't tell you to do it, right? And then there's the other Wardog. If he thinks he can tell you, he will, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the terrible Wardog. The other Wardog, the one where he just talks to people normally, is actually a very good player.
I don't think he was ever talking to them normally. I still think he was forcing an idea. Yeah, I know the Julia, whichever one it was. Julia. I know that situation, but the same way he approached that situation was, it helped him being on the bottom.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like what I'm saying is, if he just had one speed, right? He would have been exactly the same with them. In which case, he would have been gone a long time ago. He'd be like exactly like Reem, right? It'd be like, see you later, overbearing, right?
Reem, don't even get me started.
No, we have to talk about it, right? But what I'm saying is, if he had one speed, like, that's why I think he's well aware. The other thing is, like, we've seen him adapt this negotiation position before. Like, when he was talking about, let's us six, right? He wasn't saying you and me. We're all kind of.
He doesn't say that, but he does also say it's us six. We need to vote this person out. He's always the one in charge of.
Well, I want to vote the beach,
but like, there's only been one vote that he didn't get to.
There's an element where he negotiates, and then there's the element where he dominates, right? And he's been really careful, I think, throughout this game to keep backing off that domination, but he is let slip, as most people do, right? Throughout the game. I think he plays a really good game when he's not trying to dominate people, and he plays a terrible game when he is. Gavin was unforgivable. Yeah. Right? Sitting there and saying to Gavin, you only vote... you would vote with us if we had the numbers. You only ever go with the numbers.
Which might be correct. It might be correct. No,
it's true. It's true for every survivor.
Yeah, they want to be on the right side of the numbers. So, but the way he came at it, like, here's someone being upset. Don't flip it on them and go, you know what? No, now I'm upset with you. You're being an ass.
Also, you notice Rick was just standing there with a big smile on his face, right? Because he's sitting there going, this is great, because he's come back into the tribe, right? Yeah. And he's looking at two people just going at it, knowing, next tribal, it's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of these.
It can't be me.
It can't be me.
Wardog's making that beacon for himself.
That's it.
But it's just, you go back and... Wardog has always been too demanding. Yes, he's had moments where he isn't, but to me...
No, I think it's the other way around. I think he's had moments where he is demanding, and mostly he's played without that.
No, I totally disagree with what I've seen. No. I think a lot of Wardog has been my way or the highway, and if it's not my way, sometimes he can listen to rationale. But most of the time, it's always he's in control of every vote, which he wants to be, and I don't blame him for that. However, the flip on Callie... We've talked about this, how important for someone who does want to have a strong game, and especially a strong like Wardog, who is I'm not going to... Tony-esque? Tony-esque?
No, not even.
I know, not even. Yeah, I know, but that's why he's been cast. He's been cast to fill the Tony archetype. He looks like a Tony. He's brash like a Tony, but he's not a Tony.
He's not brash like Tony. Tony's really brash.
But right? Yeah, I know. But I think they've tried to cast that. I think they've tried to cast a Tony. However, having that big personality, he's got a big personality. You need all the returnees that you can get as shields.
Well,
because who else is a shield?
I was going to say, look, I don't think he's in hindsight. I don't think him getting rid of Callie was such a good idea. Because it was a great shield for him, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to disagree. I think he's mainly played a very rational game. The reason he's controlled the votes is
I can't believe you're saying this. Because for half of these episodes, you've been calling him Neil. Because you hated his game.
Yeah, no. Because I don't believe that Wardog is on his birth certificate. I believe... And they should have...
No, that is not why you called him Wardog.
Like, you go into episode 1.
Yeah.
Episode 1 is because I said, right... I don't believe his mother wrote down his birth certificate Wardog. I don't think it's like Neil, and now and when it comes up with his name, it should be Neil
he was.
AKA.
Nah,
right. That's what it is. But no, look, I think what he's done is this is the really crucial thing. I think he's always managed to get his vote across the line, but not by dominating, by actually presenting it as a rational choice. Right?
Yes.
A couple of times he has, and it's always been on camera when he has, right?
Yeah.
Like when he was talking to Callie and Thingo and Lauren about, I think it was Rick, the Rick vote, right? He was like, and that was when Lauren and Callie were like, okay, this guy's got to go, right? And then I think
but then also when someone's come up and told him, we're thinking about voting this way early on, and he said, that's not the way I want to vote, I'm voting this way, and he told everyone, and he ruined those. He got rid of Eric or whoever it was because of that.
Yeah, but anyway,
because
Eric had to look. But in that circumstance, he was actually right. Eric,
not Eric. Who was it? Who was it?
If it was Eric you're talking about, him and Ron were running the show then.
Not Eric. I'm not talking about Eric. I'm not talking about Eric. I'm talking about back in the old Lesu managed, right? But
I think you're right. Look, I think getting rid of Callie was maybe premature. The problem I have with the Callie vote is this from his point of view. There was nothing in it for him to gain getting rid of Callie.
What was in it for him? Like, look, I don't blame him for it.
He breaks up the trio. Like, he says to the rest of them, look, I'm not part of the trio. That's the only gain he had there, right? But the other side of the coin is he's giving up two people here, right? When he votes Callie out, he's also losing Lauren, right? That are basically just doing what he says.
Yeah.
Why did you get rid of the soldier?
What he's done is he's given up 2 votes to remove the target of the trio. But the trio was far stronger than him individually, because to then get the numbers to break up the trio, everyone has to come to consensus. But if Wardog is working over here, Kelly's over there, Lauren's over there, building relationships, finding that trio, finding a chance to split that trio might be a little bit harder. Yeah. Yes, it's a dangerous thing to have a trio.
Of course.
So I understand, and getting rid of a Callie is far easier pitch than getting rid of a Lauren, because everyone wants to get rid of a returnee. But it's an easy sell.
I think the only problem for him is he's done it at 9, right? When there was 9 on there. I would have waited till maybe 6.
Oh, you could have waited till 5. 4.
Or 5. Yeah. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
though. You don't like. But anyway,
if you could have, because you could have gone my final 4 was it was either going to be Callie, Wardog, Devon and Rick, a mix of those 4. However, so it was, and Lauren was in there as well. The 3 and those 5 were going to be somewhere around the end.
But also, you got to consider Wardog's resume compared to Callie and Lauren's at that stage, which he should have done.
Yeah,
and Callie and Lauren are just passengers.
I know he could take that because he had the resume.
That's what I mean. He had the resume compared there. The only thing Callie had is I'm a returnee and I've made it to 3, which is, don't get me wrong, that's a good stepping stone. But you still got to have something else.
And then what he's replaced his really confident trio with is a Devon's his arch enemy, which I don't believe that's the wrong move, and a Ron.
No.
But he's also thrown that pitch out again, saying that we're all threats.
Right. Us 3 instead of
us
6.
3 are the biggest threats here, just like he did for the Julia.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a big threat, like making people think they're bigger threats than they are. However, the problem for Wardog is the only one who is an equal threat to Wardog is a Devon.
Yeah, that's right.
And Devon now has immunity. Ron isn't a threat.
Well, not according to Ron. Ron, I'm the biggest threat out here.
No, you're a passenger again. You tried to run the game. You failed. You fell to the bottom. You've been lifted up by someone else. You haven't worked your way up to that position.
No, he's not running the game. Well, he thinks he is, but he thinks the problem for Ron is he thinks that being in the middle runs the game. That's not true. Being in the middle gives you a choice, right? And eventually that choice, because he is flipping at the moment, right?
He is, but being in the middle...
I mean, eventually, as we know, that bites you. And
there's only one person who's pulled that off.
Right, exactly. And Julie, for some strange reason, is just... I don't understand Julie at all. She sits there and she goes to Ron, I still trust you. And she means it.
Yeah.
He's flipped on her. He's not voting with her anymore. Yeah. But she's like, I trust you. Julie, if they're not voting with you... That's not a relationship. That's not an alliance. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? But he's got her to the point where she thinks that she's got something with Ron, even though he's completely not voting with her.
It's the joys of being shafted together, and she's
mad.
Being screwed over by her teammates together and being thrown to the bottom. They were both on the bottom. They both shared that.
And that's no reason to vote with him.
Yeah, no.
She's just... That's what I mean. I couldn't believe... Like, she's basically said to Ron, you can screw me over no matter any way you want, and I'll still trust you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine a Survivor player that's silly.
Yeah, but it's not that Ron's not that Ron's completely hopeless. He's definitely not hopeless.
No,
he has a stronger game when he's on top.
The thing is, Ron's social game is what's keeping him in the thing, because everybody's telling him everything.
Yeah.
Right? At the moment. That's where his strength is.
Yeah. He's not exactly. He's got strategy, but it's not strong.
He has no strategy.
He had control of the tribe for a while, so there is strategy behind him. It's just not the best strategy.
No, he hasn't got a strategy. All he's doing is listening to people say things and then going, "Oh, I'm in the middle again." Right? That's not. What I'm saying is he's not actually doing that. Like, remember Sarah did that.
Yeah.
He's fallen into it. Right?
Now he has. He was never there before.
That's right.
He was at the top before.
He has fallen into it. He hasn't worked his way into it or anything like that. He hasn't been playing this game all the way down. It's just something that's happened in the circumstances around him, right?
Yeah.
Sooner or later, that's going to end. Sooner or later, there will be an alliance form up, and if Ron isn't part of it, he won't be hearing anything.
Yeah, he's just not. He's got a He doesn't like. He's got. There is people. People could look at Ron as a threat, but he's definitely not top tier threat.
Oh god.
But he's also not in a position where it's like, if Dave was still in the game, Dave was manipulating from behind the scenes very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. Ron isn't doing that.
That's what I mean. He hasn't manipulated to bring this situation around for himself. No. He's just fallen into it. He just walked in and was like, "Oh, I'm in the middle. Oh, okay.
Yeah, great place to be."
Yeah.
And he's not
great place to be.
He's not in the middle because this is the other thing.
Yeah.
Most people fall in the middle because it's a schoolyard pick and they were the last chosen.
That's right.
He's not there because of that.
No.
But he's not actively there because he wants to be there.
Exactly. It's not his strategy.
It's not that he's delusional to think that's a strong position in the sense that he was the last picked, but it's not also in his right mind to go, this is exactly where I need to be, because he fell into that and he can use it. He can use it to his advantage.
Exactly.
But he's gonna have to pick a side. And there's no real sides anymore, is there?
Well, that's the thing. He has no strategy. He's just falling into this, and he thinks that's. And now he's saying to himself, I'm the biggest threat. He's like, I'm in control again, right? He's not in control of anything. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, he got excited because he wasn't on the bottom. And it just made no sense to me. That I'm like, however, that brings me up to this other. There's a lot of talk, like, I'm in control, threats, blah, blah, blah. I'd still like to see, I'd like to see a Devon, I'd like to see a Lauren. They're the only ones of the last 5 that I wanted. Maybe, I don't know who else I want to see there. Maybe a Victoria. She had some stuff, even so she's been a bit quiet the last few episodes. I don't know, there's whoever I want to see in the final 3. I've got this weird feeling that there is a potential. Actually, now I've got another feeling, another thought. But what I was thinking was, this could be another Australian season 2 sort of Survivor thing where
all the good players get
voted out. We're left with nothing because they're talking about that. Oh, who's the next biggest threat? Well, I'm just a goat. Well, I got to get rid of the threats to make myself.
Maybe you'll end up with something like Ron, Julie, and Victoria.
Well, I'd swap Ron out for like a Gavin.
Yeah, but I actually think Gavin's a better player in one sense. But what I mean is, like, I think Gavin will go because he's like, once you get rid of Wardog, right? Who's the next strongest person on the tribe? Aurora, right?
Yeah. That's the.
But then, like, Aurora's irrelevant. Her days are numbered, right?
Yeah, but I still don't know why.
No, the reason
I love how good she is at challenges. She's awesome at challenges. Love it.
Yeah, but that's the problem for her. Like, sooner or later they're going to go, nah, she's too good at challenges. Get rid of her, right? So definitely before 4, right? Which means you're probably going to get somebody like, I don't think Gavin's going to be there.
Today, when I watched it, this episode was the first time I think we've seen slight bit of strategy from Aurora, talking about potentially. I'm saying slight. I'm just
slight.
Like that's the first.
It's like she read it off the back of a Kellogg's packet or something.
It's the first thing we've seen that had
even
some
faintly resembled
strategic insight towards it. It wasn't much, but it was something.
Anyway, look. Ron tells Julie about the extra vote that Aurora gave the whole. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
It's so simple to build someone's trust up, though, isn't it?
Well, Julie's basically sitting there going, I don't care if you screw me over, I'll vote with you anyway. I'm 100% behind you. I'm like, why do you need to tell her about the vote?
But also, what is that? It's not his vote. It doesn't.
No, exactly. Oh no, but that's what I mean. He's told her about somebody else's vote.
You know, if everyone finds out Aurora's got an extra vote,
it doesn't mean anything.
One Aurora is always a big target anyway. Everyone wants to get rid of her for some unknown reason. 2, she's no threat.
That's it.
So and it's only an extra vote. She can use it to advantage potentially at one point in time. I get the feeling she won't.
Well, look, we know traditionally, right, how are extra votes played badly.
Yeah.
Very badly.
Yep.
I think there's been one that's actually been used well, and that was in the last season, right? So, yeah, it's not that big a deal. But here's Rick, right? This is before we get to Extinction, right? Rick's idea is to take out Aurora. I'm sitting there and going, Rick, what the hell are you thinking? Why Aurora?
I don't know. Like we talk about Gavin and Kelly's relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe there was something that was said today. Oh no, it's not today. I didn't watch it today. On this episode.
But about Aurora, when the three of them are sitting there, right? She's like, he's like, I want to get rid of Aurora. I'm like, why?
Everyone wants to get rid of Aurora.
Julie wants to get rid of her.
But they've always wanted to get rid of her. She's been on the bottom. I'm not really sure why they want to get rid of her.
As soon as Joe left.
But there was one little thing. There was one little thing that was mentioned on the episode about she's annoying to be around at camp.
So I think it was.
So maybe, and it was when she was starting to give her strategy. You
right? You saw Ron say something about like to be here for the rest of the time. I should get 2 million instead of. Right?
So it's not worth being around. So she must be really annoying.
But why haven't they shown that before?
Maybe it's irrelevant.
They showed Reem being annoying really easily, and I don't imagine Aurora would be any different.
But Reem being annoying is carrying on through the entire episode, the entire season, because she's stuck on bloody exile. But maybe it's just, and it's also that you do have to go over to exile no matter what. So even though we're in a merged tribe, we still have to spend 2-3 minutes over there to see what's happening with them.
Here's another interesting thing about Julie, right? Julie went and spoke to just how bad she is as a player, right? Julie goes to Wardog and says, why wasn't I included in the Kelly vote? And this is unbelievable, but Julie took it, right? Wardog says, you were closer to Kelly than I was.
Yeah, you would have told her.
No, but I'm just, and you would have told her. But think about that. Wardog's closest ally is Kelly, right? And he's saying to Julie, you were closer to her than I was.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. It doesn't. Yeah, it does, because if I'm going to backstab, I'm not going to tell another person who might...
But Julie's been trying to get rid of Kelly from day one, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, I know, but
What I'm saying is it's just a stupid statement, but Julie was like, yep, okay.
It's still plausible, though.
No, it's not.
And you know why it's plausible, though? You know why it's plausible?
Why?
Because Wardog is doing the thing he always does and always has done, is make someone feel better than they should feel. That's why he got this far. You're a bigger threat than you actually are. Kelly was closer to you, so it was dangerous. If I told you you're better than you actually think you are. So people will respond to that very well.
But the problem is, he's told her a lie that she should know is a lie because she's actually doesn't have a relationship with Kelly.
But it's feeding that self-worth that everyone's craving.
The reason, I didn't tell you is because you're close to Rob. Okay, that's fair enough, right? But the reason I didn't tell you about, the man on the street is because you were close to him. I'd be sitting there going, but I didn't have a relationship with the man on the street. Yeah, what I'm saying is, it's so easy to check. All you have to do is think for a second.
Yeah, I know, but when it's also going, but it's because underneath that, because you're close, it's like you're good at this game. You're good at this game. That's the subtext that he's pushing, and that makes people feel like.
No, I thought it was a really poor line. But Julie took it anyway. Julie seems to be able to take everything.
No, that's simple manipulation.
No,
simple making people feel better.
If you're going to tell a lie, tell a better one than that, for God's sake.
Nah.
Right. But anyway, I suppose that really leaves us with Extinction. Unless you want to talk about anything else.
I think I wanted to talk about Tribal in the end, but
Extinction.
Tribal. But we're not there yet. But Extinction.
Right. I kind of liked Aubrey and Joe going to Kelly on the beach and clustering around and go,
we're all together.
Yeah,
but you know what? You should have been doing that back on the bloody island.
Exactly, right? But what I mean is, they've finally shown some spirit, right? It's unfortunately on Extinction Island.
Yeah, and only one's going to get back in, and I'm still betting on Joe.
I think there's a problem with that. But anyway, but I thought it was really good. But like you said, why couldn't they have gotten this spirit together back there, right?
Just makes no sense to me.
And now let's talk about Reem.
I don't want to, but I have to.
Reem is this is my description of Reem. See, tell me if you agree with this.
I probably
just
don't.
a bitter woman.
Oh, she's bitter, but what?
Right?
Oh, she's so bitter.
She has such a deep well of bitterness in. What I loved is like Kelly. Or didn't love. I thought was really hypocritical of her is Kelly rocks up in camp and goes, and she's like, "You ended my survivor dream, right?" And Kelly says, "I'm sorry," which I would never have done. I would never have apologised for that, right? I would have instead said, "We both played the game." And that's the truth of it, right? Yeah. And Reem's sitting there, and then in a one-on-one that came, this is where the hypocrite comes out, right? I wanted to get rid of Kelly from day one, and they've finally seen it, right? Yeah. And I'm like, well, you would have been ending Kelly's survivor dream, wouldn't you, Reem? But no, it's okay, because like Reem's survivor dream, of course, is much more important than anybody else's, right?
Yeah.
It couldn't be that you both played the game
and you were outplayed.
And you were outplayed, could it, Reem? No.
The problem I have
personal.
with Reem,
it has to be personal.
The next problem I have with Reem.
Oh, I have huge problems with her. She's got a streak of bitterness in her a mile wide.
But that, and I look, cool, good on you for being bitter. Good, whatever. You're a pain in the ass.
But she paints it out with everybody else.
But the problem I have is when Kelly comes over pissed, Reem gives her this big spiel about, we're all angry, but you got to let it go. You got to let go of your anger.
I know, right?
You've been there for 30 days. When are you going to let go of your anger? Because then Wardog rocks up and she's straight at Wardog.
I didn't see that.
Oh, that's like that. At the end of that, she's like, but no, don't even think, because I'm going to have a word with you next morning. I'm like, what about you just... Where's your letting go of this anger? You should have let go of it ages ago. You know what this is.
Reem has done this to everybody that's come to the island.
Yeah, she has, but that's what I'm saying. Like, she's done it to everyone, and good on her. That's annoying. Whatever.
It's not good on her. It's terrible.
The problem I have...
hypocritical.
The problem I have is then when you tell someone else who does the same thing to let go of her anger...
Yeah, I know.
Let go of your own damn anger, because you're a pain in my bloody existence.
No, she's just a painful
fucking annoying.
person. Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
But my point is she's got this deep bitterness, right? And everybody else is wrong but her, right? Even though they're playing exactly the same game as her with the same rules, they're worse they're worse than she is. They're worse people. That's what her stand is. I am better than you. Yeah. That's what all she's got, right? And it's just terrible.
I deserve it. You shouldn't be angry. You shouldn't be angry because I've been here longer, basically. At least you got to play the game. I'm like, oh.
Actually, you've picked up something I've never realised until just now. You're right. She's actually sitting there going, I deserve to be in this game and you don't. Yeah. That's what she's saying.
Because I've been on this island longer than you, so I deserve to be angry. You don't. I'm like, that's not the way to play, Reem. It's just a really unpleasant, it's really unpleasant to watch.
Oh, she's just displaying a true personality, right? But I'll tell you this, if I was Callie and she had said to me, you ended my survivor dream, I would have said, well, that's the game. Yeah. Guess what? There's 20 people and 19 dreams are going to end. Yeah, there's and you were one survivor, of them. And you were coming for me, so I'm going for you. I wouldn't have apologised to her at all. Apologising to Reem is just like rolling out the red carpet and saying, beat me up. But is it just a matter of, like, you have to just suck it up and apologise to someone like that just so they shut up? Like, because she... Look, no, I don't think you do, because, like, I don't think Chris ever did. Yeah, I know, but this is the thing with Reem... She still sits across the fire and just glowers at Chris, you know? Like, with Reem, there was a real... And I know it's the game. She's probably in her regular life, she's probably a really lovely person, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think she is. I think we're seeing her as she is. But you did see some really, like, a nice moment when she did come out to Callie and say, hey, you're going to get burnt out here. Yeah, but don't forget... She does have a nice... There isn't. No, there isn't. Because remember why she got chucked out in the first... episode? Because she was moving people's stuff around on the beach. Because she was trying to be, that was her, she was doing it in a nice favour. Like she was just trying to help people dry their clothes. No, but what she's doing with Callie's exactly, no, it's not about that. It's about ordering the camp according to what she wants, right? That's what it's about. It's not about helping people. It's about making sure things are done the way she wants them done, right? Yeah, either way. And her coming out and telling Callie wasn't about helping Callie, right? That was her coming out and telling Callie, I think you should go and sit down now because you've been in the sun too long. Yeah, that's what it was. I don't know. I just think that was like a little humane moment. I don't think I'm just trying to give her something. I know you are. Trying to give her something. I respect you for that, right? I don't think there's any redeeming features there, though. All right. Okay. Tribal. That's all I got for Extinction. I just wanted to have a bit of a Reem vent. The last thing about Extinction was I was really glad to hear Carolee say to camera, right? I came on this time to try a different game plan. I wanted to be open and vulnerable. Yeah. and I hope you really learnt your lesson, Kelly.
Doesn't
doesn't work at all,
No.
right?
Brutal and cutthroat.
Brutal and cutthroat. And if she doesn't switch on now, after all this, especially having seen Wardog go now, right? And if she does come back in, if for some reason she makes it through whatever the trial is and comes back in, I hope we see old Kelly, not this new Kelly.
Yeah.
Really do. Anyway, I guess now we're up to the tribal.
It was interesting.
Oh look, I think Gavin's the same as Lauren. Just quickly, right? He's another one that really wanted Wardog, but when it looked like it was going to be the Rick vote, right? Yeah. He was like, I really want to get Wardog because I really want some vengeance, right? But again, he was like willing to go with
Aurora was up on there as well.
No, but I'm just saying that Gavin's said, but if the numbers aren't there, I'm not going to try and push for it.
Yeah.
Which is good. Him and Lauren are on the same sort of page about that, right?
They're playing a cruisy game, but a smart cruisy game. They're cruising along smartly.
What do you think of Julie trying to strategize with Lauren at the reward? I thought it was a very, very much too little, too late.
Yeah, but I think that was fine. That worked. They brought even though they're on the same side, they're already on the same side. What I think is how arrogant of a Wardog and to sit there and go, we just Rick, Wardog and Rick to shut down and turn off.
That's what I mean. Like Rick says to camera, and this is the biggest.
No point strategizing with them.
There's no point here. No point strategizing with these people. And I was like, you're insane. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Stupid. The game isn't over until that final day.
There are 3 people there that you should be talking to and trying to find out either just information, or build a relationship.
The arrogance of those two.
Rick deserves to lose having done that.
Rick and Wardog.
Because that's half the tribe there.
Yeah. Yep.
Half the tribe is there. Oh no, I don't need to strategize with these people. That's just insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, craziest thing.
Very, very stupid thing. And then, of course, Rick has this kind of look like, I didn't vote you out, Wardog. It wasn't me. I don't know what happened. Well, you weren't worried. Like, you two were not worried. You were worried about your 3 looking after each other.
Exactly.
3. There's another 5 people. What are you doing with those 5 people? Yeah. It's stupid. In Tribal, I felt was interesting because Jeff called it. Jeff said, it's interesting here. You're all trying to work the jury. They were.
And they were.
Wardog was trying to decrease his
of course, because he put
Ron in there.
Yeah, right.
Like, everyone said something in this way that was kind like, for the jury.
But I did I can't remember if it was Victoria said it right, but I think it was Victoria who said, it was Victoria. She said, and she explains basically the end game jury very well, the end game for the tribals is, on the one hand, you've got to build a resume with the jury. On the other hand, you've got to do it in such a way that you don't become the target, the next target, and that's the balancing act.
And that's, again, this is why, me personally, I love the game, because the whole game is such a balancing act. You want to be good at challenges, but you don't want to be too good at challenges.
Exactly.
You want to be good at strategy, you don't want to be too good.
That's right.
You want to be social, but not too social. Yeah. You want to play for the jury, but you don't want to play it too much like we saw last season where she literally was playing for the jury votes and it was funny. But
that was hilarious. I forget what her name was, but
But everything about Survivor is this fine line of how hard you play and how soft you play, and you've got to. It's in constant flux, and so that's what it is. It's like, and to me, I'm sitting there watching Wardog. I'm like, you're playing too hard.
I didn't think he's playing too hard.
I know what he's trying to do, but it's just so obvious as a viewer. Maybe not in the situation, but just like, oh man, you're trying too much.
I think maybe you're right in the sense he was playing too hard. Definitely after the Kelly vote, I think he should have backed off a little.
Yeah,
he certainly should have handled Gavin much better. He should have just took Gavin and said, "Oh look, come over here, I'll have a chat to you." And then he should have just said to chat, look, you're really close to Kelly, but I think Kelly had to go for more. We've
just had a lot of idiotic tribal nonsense, haven't we, this season? And it's been good. It's just been foolish things people are saying. Too much. They're giving away too much.
Absolutely. Like Aurora just can't seem to keep her mouth shut about anything,
And we
same with Rick.
And it was this time around. It was like this was the most obvious I've ever seen anyone try and play it up to the jury. Not just Wardog.
No, I think
everyone on
the last season was the most obvious, right? But this is pretty.
Yeah, when everyone. No, but she was doing it before. They were calling her out before there was even a jury. She was trying to play towards people's feelings.
That's right. I know.
Ready for them to be on the jury.
But she did it all the way down. Remember,
it was hideous.
When they got the final 5, remember she told the other two players, can you build me up and make it look like I need to play my idol?
Yeah.
So I've got an idol, and I was like, no, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this, as far as a whole group, this is the worst group I've ever seen that has gone to tribal councils. They are giving away way too much information. They're making everything, their moves so obvious.
Look, I think... look, Wardog, I don't know. Wardog's kind of done Ron a favour and a disfavour by saying it was me. Basically, Ron was, helped me vote out Kelly, right? When he basically said, I got rid of Kelly, didn't he, in the tribal? And then he's gone, and Ron helped me, right?
And Ron said, yeah, he's right.
Yeah,
because Ron needs to he wants that. He wants
That's what I was about to say.
He wants a resume.
In one sense, it's helped him because it's given him a resume. Oh, okay, you were another part of the Kelly vote. But on the other hand, now he's got the target.
Yeah, in a game where it's only about threats.
Yeah, that's
you kind of almost you want to be sitting there being a Gavin, a Lauren, or a Victoria.
Absolutely.
Because then I don't believe any of those three are terrible players. They're just, they're just sitting there making sure it's.
If they were terrible players, we would have picked them before now.
Yeah,
right?
They're not doing anything.
They're playing the Sandra game, really. They're just sitting back going, as long as it's not me.
Yeah, and they're just doing what's servicing them the best in the moment and being quiet.
And maybe that's the thing. Maybe these three are smarter players than all the rest because they've picked up on earlier. If you stand out, you're gone. Yeah. So maybe they're just like trying to blend as much as possible, and they're doing a great job of it.
Yeah, because we're like the whole theme of the thing is get rid of the returnees because they're big threats.
That's one of the reasons.
Well, that's what that mentality of get rid of the returnees because they're big threats, not because they're returnees, because they're big threats. Meaning, once those things are gone, our mindset is big threat.
Exactly, big threat.
So,
which is interesting because it might be in Gavin, Lauren, and Victoria's interest if they're playing this game, and even if they can maybe get together over it. Keep Aurora around as long as possible.
Well, I've been saying keep Aurora for a long time. She's harmless.
Oh, she is harmless, but what I mean is
wants to vote her out.
Everybody wants her gone, right? Well, that's a terrific shield for somebody who wants to play I'm in the background.
100%. Because then you can pick them off while they're trying to get rid of Aurora. Hey, there's the three of us and Aurora, four of us. We now have the majority because there's only 7 floating around.
And we got to talk about, I suppose the others. Look, out of all the people that have said, Ron is sitting there going, I'm the biggest threat. And I don't think he is, and I think he's mischaracterised because...
Devons is the biggest threat.
Devons is the biggest threat.
Devons has been to extinction, he's come back from extinction, he's been given 2 advantages. He's very social, 2 immunity. He has a killer resume. And if he gets to the end, give him the million. He's winning.
That's right. And the other thing is, it doesn't look like he's going to stop winning immunities. Everybody's like, Aurora's an immunity beast. Yeah, Devons is competing with that and winning.
There's two too, but did you see, Aurora was in she was smashing it, and Devon flew under that net.
Right,
He flew under that net and caught up with her. Because in those sort of that low net thing, you've just got to pull your way through.
Right,
and rather than trying to, he did that. He just, I've got to get through.
Exactly.
And he has to play now.
He actually got out before Aurora.
Yeah.
And she was ahead of him.
He made up a lot of ground.
But all I'm saying is that when in a game where threats are a big thing, then Rick has just put a big target on himself.
And he already had a big target. He had a massive target.
I don't think he had a massive target. I think up until now
he's very popular.
I think he's been able to fly under because there's been other bigger targets.
There's been big targets, but the big targets. Who were the big targets? The returnees.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And then Wardog, because he stood out more than anyone else because he was so vocal. The returnees were your only targets. And obviously he didn't want to get rid of Dave or anything like that. And his idea to keep Dave would have been perfect because it's a great shield for him.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The last returnee left last. Now they've only got...
They've
only got themselves to get rid of.
Yeah, so you want to be a Gavin, a Lauren and a Victoria who's hiding in the background, who hasn't really... Julie's made this big cry and she's put herself in a place where she can't win.
Look,
Aurora hasn't done anything other than being really great physically and annoy people. So from what we've seen,
Aurora
she
and
can't
Julie
win.
A couple of the best goats I've ever seen.
I know there's been better.
I know there's better, but I'm still saying they rank down there with the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Julie's. Would you? I mean, how happy would you be to have her?
For those three to take those two on board, because it's an easy sell to get rid of a Ron because because Wardog's thrown Ron
under the bus a bit,
and made him. Yeah. And Ron wants to be there though. That's the thing. Ron doesn't play well unless he's on the top.
Yeah.
And now there's nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
Because it's him and Rick.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So he's going to stick out like a sore throat.
It's pretty tricky.
Rick already does.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be sitting there going, look. As far as the immunity goes, they're going to be looking at Aurora and then they're going to be looking at Rick. We can't win between these two. one of them has to go. Whichever one doesn't win this time, gone. Right?
And so that's kind of wraps everything up. One thing. What the hell's happening with Extinction? When are they coming back?
I got a theory about that, and I don't like it if I'm right.
Do you think they're just going to get rid of them all and not have a challenge, and it's just been a big piss take?
I am seriously half a mind about that.
Like
because they're all already on the jury.
Yeah.
Right? Why? But the only thing that stops me is, when you read the sign?
Yeah, for a chance to get back in the game.
Chance to get back in the game.
But Jeff also said you'll have one more chance.
Yeah, so... But I am really surprised it didn't happen this time at one of them. Right?
It's got to happen next week. I know you didn't see what happens next week. Next week is
they get down to 7. They're
at 7.
They're at 7, right? 6. Which means it's going to go to 6. Putting somebody back in at 6 is just too hard.
So next week, what we see next week.
Don't say.
No. Okay. All we see is. And because I was like, it's not even going to happen next week because we see. But then I just remembered. What we're seeing next week is we see the reward challenge being the family visit. It's nothing. No. So we still have the immunity, which maybe they might come back in for that moment. Because if they don't, they have to come in the next week.
I have to at 6, right?
They have to. If it's not this,
sub 6 is insane. If you bring them back.
Yeah. If it's not here,
look, there is one possibility that occurred to me. Maybe they bring them in at 4. Instead of 4, we have 5, and then we let it go and then we have a double have a double tribal, let's say. Bring them in really late in the game, just as an experiment to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Because it is, but it would be real. But bringing them in at 4 is
so, what... Just say they bring him in at 4. What can they do? They don't have a chance to build any sort of resume. How can they win? I was on Extinction. I guess being on Extinction is tough.
It's tough, but the presumption, I think, would be this. At 4, you're probably going to have a 2-2 split.
And you become the 5th. You become
and it gives you, and instead of giving you an immunity to get through to the next one, you have that opportunity to work your way into the next tribal. And that's what I think.
That's a potential, the 2-2 split.
And it may be a way of what they're experimenting with, trying to break the 2-2 split. They've introduced fire now, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I think is, they could go to 4 and do it that way. It's tough.
It's like, when are we going to see this? Because we haven't even seen the disadvantage happen.
Yeah.
We've only seen Aubrey get the advantage. There's no disadvantage that's come out.
No. The other thing is, as Neil said, as Wardog said in this episode, right? The smaller the numbers get, the harder it is to do anything.
Yeah.
Which we know, right? But he's expressed that. So that's what I mean. The later it gets for these returnees, or for Extinction, the much harder it is going to be for them to have an impact.
What chance do they have to win? I guess they
could,
but
maybe they're thinking this way. If we bring them in at 7 or 6, right? It will be, they'll just get straight voted out again, right?
And they want to hold off a little longer until it needs to be the split.
Until it needs to be the split. And at 4, if you could throw somebody in the mix at 4,
if they want to do that, they give them an idol.
No, but that's what I mean. You can't give them an idol sub 6, right? You can't just give them an idol.
Unless it's something like this, where we have our immunity challenge, we also have a challenge for the Extinction players. The winner comes back in, but the winner is coming back in replace of whoever they vote out, and they don't know. So whoever's voted out, so we have a proper live tribal that person is gone for good. They're done, and then the tribe is replaced. I don't know.
But it is going a little lower than I expected, right? But the only thing I can think of is this: you can't bring him in 7 or 6. It
has to be.
Bring him in you can bring him at 7 maybe, right?
We're at 7 now.
6, 5 is 5. 6, 5 is just too hard.
And then I still think we're gonna have to get rid of I'm hoping we're getting rid of a few, because we can't have that many jury members. We can't have the whole game apart from 2 people Keith and Wendy who quit.
Actually, in point of fact, there's no reason why they can't. It's never been done before, but they could.
It's too big. They could, but it just becomes a big thing for an audience to watch.
I got a funny feeling this might be just an experimental season for them.
Oh, they're always trying to mix things up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, they may just try this as an experience, see what it'd be like if we keep
everyone's there.
Like, basically, they've given everybody the opportunity to quit, haven't they?
Yeah.
And only 2 people have.
Yeah.
Maybe they were also expecting more to quit. Maybe they were thinking, listen, by the time we get down to Final 4, we'll only have...
That's true. They could have expected that.
And maybe they've just got a bunch of people who are willing to stick it out to the bitter end.
Or maybe you'll get people who will want to quit after they can't get back in the game. Like, well,
that's true.
They might not want to be in the jury.
Look, I think with Keith and Wendy, right? I think they probably quit because they thought, well, I had a shot at getting back in. I didn't make it. I'm out of here.
Make it again.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait again. Whereas, like you said, maybe after the next person comes back in, other people will be, I'm out of here.
Yeah, can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered. Look, Reem, I think if you took the
Reem shouldn't be... The Reem 100% should not be able to choose someone who's...
Oh, exactly. No,
I don't care that she's watched every single tribal vote. She hasn't experienced...
She's a super fan, mate.
She hasn't experienced island life at all. No. She's had 3 days or 2 days. And she's
got no respect for anybody in there.
Yeah. And she's only coming from anger. She's coming in, who deserves $1 million? I do, but you voted me out.
Exactly.
And why should I give it to you? It's not fair on the people who have got to the end.
Exactly.
Whoever gets to the end, Reem is not, and she shouldn't be there to dictate who wins.
Look, it may be this. It may be that, and there's no reason why they can't do this, right? At the end of the next challenge for them to get back in, whether it's 1 or 2 of them, I don't know, right? That's the other thing.
It's got to be 1.
Well,
it can only be
well, this is the thing. We're saying it's got to be 1, but they could also throw us another spanner and let 2 back in. We don't know, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
But the other thing is, the way they could do it is after the next challenge, when whoever gets back in, right? They could, if let's just say people are still there from prior to merge, they could just say to the people prior to merge, okay, look, you guys have to go now.
Yeah.
And that's legitimate.
Yeah.
And just leave the people there from...
Yeah, and that's what I'd do. If you didn't make merge, you don't make jury.
Exactly, I agree with that.
And I'd get rid of them too, and I think that's fair.
Because they just said, like, if you got somebody like Reem, and this isn't particularly about Reem in this situation, she's only had 3 days.
Yeah, it's not
She's
enough.
never really seen the game
She hasn't seen the other tribe.
Exactly.
She's only spent a few...
She can't have said... So I would say she would have to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
More thing.
Yeah, go.
I read the other day.
Oh, gosh, yep.
Potential for a Boston Rob and a Sandra to make an appearance in next season. As advisors...
I would have thought season 40.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I was reading. Now, season 40 looks like...
What do you mean advisors?
Remember when Cochrane was that advisor?
Yeah.
For more of an ongoing... Beach. I don't know, but more of an ongoing advisory situation. I don't know. It's a rumour I've read.
I wouldn't like that.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't want it. No, seriously. Imagine you land on a beach and there's Rob telling you how to play the game.
There's talk.
That's fantastic.
There's talk that they won't be on the island. They'll be, living in a holiday place, and then when they're needed, come and give advice on a boat or so. I don't know. That's just what I've read. There's also the talk.
Oh, look, one way I would enjoy this is like, if it's like Cochrane, right? Maybe it's a reward.
Yeah, but it might be more of an ongoing reward.
No, I wouldn't like it beyond maybe, but maybe something like
choose to go to.
But if whoever wins, let's say a reward challenge, can choose to go and spend an evening with Rob or Sandra,
yeah.
Okay, I could live with that.
Then that's what it might be. You go get your dinner or whatnot, but you also get Rob or Sandra. Pick one of the 2 consistently.
I can live with that.
I don't really know. I don't have any more details than that. But all I know is because there's also the talk, and it might. I heard it was not going to go ahead, but it would go ahead. It's not going to go ahead. Apparently, which was in this article, which I think could be wrong anyway, was season 40 has now been confirmed, which, again, this is what I read. I don't believe it is. Confirmed that it's going to be all winners.
No.
Jeff was against this because he's like, we don't have enough. We don't have enough all winners to play. Apparently, it's confirmed. I don't really know because CBS wants it. They want an all winners season 40. That means where does Boston Rob and Sandra, because do they just stay on and they come back to play straight after? Because we know they film pretty much back to back. There's very little gap between filming.
I wouldn't believe that for a start, right? Namely because
it's a lot of rumour going around.
A lot of rumour. That's what I mean. No. What I believe is, when Jeff puts up the show in the final
That's when
That's when you believe it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just speculation and hearing because it's getting exciting. Like season 40s, we're not too far away.
To be honest, I don't see all winners right coming back to play doesn't excite me.
Why?
Because they've already won.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Well, somebody won again. No, don't get me wrong. It may be a great season. You've got experienced players, blah, blah, blah. But all I'm saying...
Who are you going for? Like I said, you're going to have your favourites. Obviously, I'm going to love a Parvati. I'm going to love a Boston
Well, I'm still going to love Kelly. As long as she changes the game pack,
yeah.
Right? But yeah, look, Parvati. Why not Parvati, right?
But... Well, because it could have been Parvati or Sandra, who was the 2-time winner.
Yeah.
But then you have a Sandra. Are you rooting for Sandra to get 3 times? Like, that'd be pretty cool. The
That'd
best
be
of the best if she was to win against all winners.
That's right.
However,
would Amber come back? You know, who?
Yeah. Does Amber and Rob come in being, both winners married?
The only problem is, right, you don't get people like Malcolm, Joe, Ozzy. Right? A lot of fan favourites don't get a look in.
A Russell doesn't get a look in.
Exactly, right.
Who would be a definite? A Russell villain would be a definite.
Absolutely, right. And
or do they do? Because I think
they should do something like a massive All Stars, like.
Well, season 20 was halfway. Was heroes versus villains.
Yeah.
From first to the end. Yeah. For 20. Do they do another heroes versus villains from season 21? To season 39. Do they do that? Is that all they do? I don't know, but that's just the rumours I heard. I just wanted to put them out there.
What I'm really hoping is they, and this is what I'm really hoping, is that they actually surprise me for season 40.
Okay.
That it's not any of these formats that they come up with something and I sit there and I go, wow, I never thought of that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Like something like splitting the tribe into 3. Challenge beasts, strategy beasts, social beasts.
Well, no, look, they could do that.
Does that work? I don't know.
But also, they could change the format up because it's 40, right?
Yeah.
Why just have 20 players?
Yeah.
You know, we can expand the cast, right? Like, instead of 2 tribes, let's have 3 from the get-go.
Yeah,
right?
but there'd be a lot
3
more
tribes,
immunities, a lot more tribal councils. Yeah.
Well, no, you can have double eliminations if you want.
Yeah.
You
could get 3 tribes, full 3 tribes.
Exactly.
Only 1 tribe's getting immunity.
Exactly.
And 2 tribes are going to tribal tonight. And having more of those. Yeah,
double immunities you can get from.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
Something surprise me. That's what I want.
All I want is to see Joe Malcolm versus Joe v Malcolm v Aussie v maybe a James because I'm watching James's season now.
Well, that may be a way of doing it too. Like what they could do is matchups. They could have say 3 tribes with matchups.
Yeah.
Like you could have your physical beasts like. Maybe 2 physical beasts in each tribe, a matchup. So you could have Malcolm, Joe, Aussie, then 3 others, right? Then you could have social. You could have 2 social people in each tribe, 2 strategic people in each tribe, and 2 whatevers.
Well, anyway, that's all I have.
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.